And so let us go ahead and start standing, because in this section, all of them, but this one here, it does really provide us with a lot of information. Just come to a comfortable stance and sense your footprint on the floor as if you were standing in wet sand. You're going to trace it. What touches the floor? What does not touch? Do you have more weight forward on your feet, or do you have more weight back into the heels? And commonly I see more weight forward. We have sort of a case of red light reflex where the front body is contracted, hip flexors in particular, and the neck flexors as well. So it's not just ankles, of course, it is the whole bit. But notice too, do you have a tendency to supinate, which is where you're rolling into the outer edges of the feet, or pronate, that is collapsed arches? And so coming to balance, where we are pretty even on the feet, that helps the ankle work as an optimal part, because the ankle is a hinge joint. Now it has a little bit of, you can take your feet and wiggle them from side to side, and you can keep your legs pretty steady, at least in theory. Rocking again back and forth. And so what I'm seeing a lot in my more mature students is very tight, very stiff ankles. And that really begins to affect balance. Now, of course, we can't just talk about the feet. Notice your knees too. Or one of the knees may be more hyperextended than the other. It's a little hard to see on the picture. That can come about if there is a rotation in the spine or in the pelvis. It might throw one knee back, and then that knee becomes vulnerable because we have the hips. So we have these three main joints for our feet. Those are the ones that we need for locomotion: the ankles, the knees, and the hips. So I invite you just to walk around and to notice flexion of ankles, flexion extension of the knees, and flexion and extension of the hips. In a perfect world, this is a perfect, even math equation where they all have the same angle, if you will, the same healthy mobility. But if we lack mobility in one of the joints, the other two will have to start taking over. And that's how we begin to wear down our joints, and we really become at risk. So from here, go ahead, I'm going to move my balance board off. Let me just show you what it does. Just take a look at my ankles. So if you use this balance board, you're really helping your ankles move through full range of movements. And can I negotiate this? And you can get all jiggy. They are pretty darn cheap. I think I got this for $18 on Amazon. So I'm not getting kickback, but I thought that was money well spent. With that said, let's go ahead and come on to the back body. We are ready to get started. So as you come onto your back, legs are straight. And before you take a look-see, just notice, where does your heels touch the blanket or the mat? Where or what part of your calves are touching? What about the thighs? Are the back of the thighs touching? And then look at your feet. Are they rolling out evenly, or does one leg roll out more than the other? Very, very normal. And that means that that side that's lesser or more works different than the other one. And again, it's not that it does it right now. It is that long term that begins to create the big differences. So just easier to catch it from the get-go. What about the hips? Does one side lie flatter than the other? Shoulder blades, upper back. Does one side lie flatter? Because what happens in the upper body happens in the lower body. We just pay attention. And then we'll go ahead and we'll bend up the knees. Place the feet flat on the ground. Let's bring the hands to the lower abdomen. It's an invitation for belly breathing. Diaphragmatic breathing, where the diaphragm just gently massages the psoas, our main hip flexor. As you breathe in, feel a soft expansion of the abdomen. And as you breathe out, feel the soft letting go. The psoas connects on the front body, the spine to the legs. Very direct connection. So if it happens in the legs, it happens in the spine, and vice versa. It connects all the way up at T12, and then the entire lumbar spine, and then it sort of hooks up with a little buddy through the pelvis, the iliacus. And so 10 to one, you 10 to the other, and vice versa. If you get back pain at night, then there's a pretty good chance that the psoas is involved. After maybe sitting a lot during the day, we come to lie flat, and psoas is going, no, I don't think so. And it begins to fuss. Now let's take the arms up to cactus arms, just in a comfortable way. And we'll take the slow arch and flatten. Inhale, arch the low back, feel the contraction. Feel how that deepens the hip flexors, but doesn't harden them. And then slowly release back to neutral. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, flattening the low back. Tailbone draws upward, so activates Mula Bandha, feeling the contraction of the pelvic floor, and then slowly release. Let's take a buffer breath here. Inhaling an arch. And exhale, slowly float back to neutral. We take a buffer breath in. And exhale, flattening all around the lower abdomen. And slowly release back to neutral. One more time. Make sure that your upper arms are resting comfortably on the floor, and you can take the arms out to a T position. That way, there's no tension around the shoulder joint. You want to be able to just let go completely. So when you're ready, let's inhale and arch one more time. And slowly floating back to neutral. Breath in for nothing, belly breath. And exhale, flatten. And then slowly release. Go ahead and just slide the legs out and pause. The arch and flatness, consider the foundational movement of all of them, getting us to the midsection, the hub of the wheel, creating balance for all the spokes. And just notice, did it change anything? We're going to go ahead and bend up the legs again. And this time we're gonna slide the hands behind the head for the arch and flatten. This one we'll do a little bit faster. Inhale and arch, press the elbows down, lift the low back. Exhale, flattening, draw the elbows in, curling up. And then inhale, arch again. So this is old news. You would know this one. Exhale, curling up. So we're going to add a little something, something to it. As you inhale and arch, lift the heels, lift the heels. So the whole back seam contracts. And as you exhale and curl up, lift the front of the foot. Alternating between arch and heel, so lifting, feel the calves contracting, and exhale, curling up. Lift the front of the feet. So moving back and forth between these two movements. Not straining, make it easy. How easy can you make it? We're balancing the front and the back seam of the body. After the next flattening is coming, we're going to release down. And letting go. Letting go. Pausing. Notice the legs. Did it change how they are orienting on your mat? So diving in a little bit deeper into all the ankle and foot mobility. Go ahead and bend up the left leg. So we'll focus on the right first. Slide the right foot up so that the leg is bent. That'll be our starting point. And we'll stay on the right side. You can have your arms out in whatever position is comfortable for you. And go ahead and slide the right leg out. We know this one. This is such a good movement for ankle flexibility. Sliding it out until you have to lift the big toe up and then flex the ankle. Curl the toe. Excuse me. Curl the toes under and then slowly lower the bottom of the foot towards the floor. Slide the leg back in, lift the heel, and lowering down. Go ahead and slide the leg out again, keeping your back pretty steady, neither arching nor flattening, but in a neutral. Once the big toe wants to lift, we flex the ankle, feel the muscles on the front of the shins contracting. Then curl the toes under and lower the foot. Once the foot is down, the toes spread out, we slide the foot in and we lift the heel. Lower down. Let's do that a couple of more times. Slide the foot out. Feel the sensations under your foot. So the sensory neurons, so important for gait. Can we feel our feet? Flex the ankle, curl the toes, lower down, sliding in. Feel the sensation. Lifting the heel, calf contracts. One more time. Sliding the foot up. The slower you go, the faster you get there. Ankle flexes, toes curl, lower down, and sliding up. Go ahead and slide both legs out. And notice right leg, left leg. And we'll go ahead, bend out the legs, and we'll go ahead on the left side. I invite you to either follow my cueing or just move at a pace that's comfortable for your body. Slowly slide the foot out, sensing the surface. Flex the ankle, curl the toes, and lower. Sliding back in, lift the heel and lower down. Slide the foot back out. Flex the ankle, curl the toes, invitation to extend the ankles. Feel the arch really getting active here. And then lift the heel and lower the heel. Continuing sliding. Flexing. Curling the toes. Slide, lower the foot. Sliding it back in. Lift the heel. One more time. Sliding out. Flex. Curl. Lower. And sliding in. And lifting the heel. And then go ahead and slide both legs out and pause. These pauses are really important. It allows the motor cortex to really incorporate what we just did. When we rush through and layer on a whole bunch of stuff quickly, there's little learning taking place, little incorporation. And then it may feel great, but long term, we may not really get a lot of bang for the buck. So we're going to work the same. So we mainly just worked the ankle and the knee joint. We're going to add the hip joint into this scenario here for that whole gait mobility. So go ahead and bend both legs up again. And then hug your right knee into your chest. We're just going to hang out here for about 6 breaths. So this is a really interesting little event. And as you breathe in and out, just belly breathing about what this is doing, this passive hold, the weight of the hands helps the hip flexor, your psoas, release. So as you exhale, sense a deepening of your front right hip groin. So the knee relaxes down towards the chest. Each exhalation, there's a little bit more release. So it's just the weight of the hands. You're not pulling on the knee as much as letting just the weight of the hands, allowing the hip flexors to release. Because they can get kind of stuck. I think that was about 90 seconds. So we're going to go and let the hands go up to the sides. Now, cactus arms again. Lower the right leg to the floor. And go ahead and slide the right leg all the way up, pressing out through the heel. And then let the leg relax completely. Let's take a breath in and out. And slide the leg all the way up. You're going to leave the hands on the floor. We're going to draw the knee in towards the chest. So we're going to activate the psoas. And then lower the heel back down and slowly slide the leg all the way up. Press out through the heel. And let go. Let's take a buffer breath. Imagine you're breathing all the way down into your hip, into the leg. Slide the leg up, draw the knee in. So functional movement where we can create the movement without having to force or push or pull. That's the ideal kind of movement that we want. Slide the leg back out. Reach the right arm back overhead. So we're going to lengthen the entire side seam. And as you slide the leg in, arm comes back down where it started. So we're just going to add a little lateral event. Did I mention shoulders? It affects the hips, it affects the legs. As the heel slides out, the hand slides back. And the whole side seam gets long. Moving at a pace, slide the leg in, arm comes down, move at a pace that's comfortable for you. Make it easy. Make it easy. Heel slides out, hand slides back. Let's do it one more time. So working with the lateral seam, but also the deep midline. Then leave the right leg out, take the right arm back, just like the left leg out, and pause. Pause and feel. Right side, left side. What feels different? And we'll go ahead, we'll bend the legs up, and we'll hug the left knee in. Breathing in, breathe. So just hugging it, relax the foot. So notice if you are tensing the ankle, habitual movement, right? Is like, well, working here. So you're not doing anything. You are not doing. Not doing. I think I got enough of them. Nothing. You breathing, that's it. Breathing with a sense of deepening and relaxing the front groin on the left side. And as the front groin deepens, feel how the knee drifts down closer towards the chest. It's just a very easy and gentle movement. Once there's no movement, the diaphragm. One more breath. And we'll go ahead and take the arms back out to cactus. Release the left foot down, slide it out, press out through the heel, and relax. We'll take a buffer breath. And then slide the leg in, leave the arms where they are. Draw the knee in, ankle is completely relaxed. Slide the foot out. Press out through the heel so the quadricep engages. But keep the heel down so you're not hyperextending the knee. And then let go completely. Let go so everything relaxes. And then repeat it. Draw the knee in. Lower down. Sliding the leg out. Let it go. And then let's begin to incorporate the left arm. So sliding left knee in. Heel comes down. And then slide hand and heel away from each other. Elongate the side. Elbow comes back down where we started as the knee moves back in. So just slowly and easy, contracting and release. Any movement is a muscle that is contracting, and any movement that's seizing is a muscle that is releasing, ideally. So changing the resting muscle tone is what we're looking for so that it doesn't stay in a tight, restricted range of movement. Make it easy, make it pleasant. That's a Feldenkrais invitation. Make it enjoyable. Do it one more time. And then let everything pause, sliding the legs out. Breathing in and breathing out. So we have invited a little movement in for the lateral seam. So we're going to continue with that. I'm just reading here my recipe for tonight. So eversion and inversion, what I call supination and pronation when you were standing. So inversion, dial your right foot in and then release it back along. So this is a pure ankle movement. Dial the right foot in. So the bottom of the foot comes to look at your left foot and then let it go. Let's dial the left foot in. So if you're a good supinator, this is probably pretty easy. Because these muscles, the inseam is already a little short. Feel when you dial the bottom of the left foot towards your right foot as you draw the ankle up towards your midline. Everything shortens. So we all have a propensity. Let's go back onto the right and then evert. So dialing the bottom of the foot away from the midline and feel how the outer calf activates. If you've suffered ankle sprains, your ankles are a little unsteady, these are really good movement to help bring balance. Let's go to the left side. So feel how you're now lengthening the inseam, shortening the lateral seam, and then releasing. So it's a very small movement. You are dialing the ankle from side to side. So we have isolated them. We did the inversion first, where the bottom of the foot went to midline, and then the eversion, bottom of the foot goes away from the midline. And if you have suffered some foot trauma, you may notice that there's a difference between your 2 feet. And that's worthwhile paying attention to help rehabilitate, because it's happening in the ankles, it's going to happen in the knees, it's going to happen in the hips, it's going to happen in the spine, the shoulders, and the neck. It all connects. We're going to make these movements a little bit bigger. Let's go ahead and take the arms out to the sides. Starting again with the inversion of the right foot. So the ankle dials in, bottom foot dials in, but let that be an invitation to the knee to come out to the side as you slide the leg up. Slide the leg out, and then come into the eversion and drag the heel up. So the knee will now come across. So we are initiating from the foot, from the ankle, and the knee and the hip are going to be following. Eversion and inversion. Because nothing, again, happens in isolation in the body. We know that. So we stayed on the right side. And we switched in between inversion and eversion, but we're taking the whole leg up. So make sure you are initiating from the ankle. Kinetic train, moving up to the knee and then moving to the hip. These habitual movement habits that we have in our body, they can get so locked in that it feels really weird to change it. Let's do it one more time before we just pause and feel. What is the residue from starting it from the ankles? We have balance receptors in our ankles, and the balance board that I showed at the beginning, when our ankles are not taken through their full range of movement, they begin to seriously lock in. We become at a high risk of falling, so easier to maintain than recreate. Let's start on the left side. So first invert, dial at the bottom of the foot towards the right foot. Slide the foot up with the inversions so that the knee follows and the hip participate. We come into the eversion, the foot slides up and back out again. This may be the easy side. This may be the not so easy side. Back and forth. Make it easy. Make it pleasant. Go back to your baby state and enjoy this movement exploration. One of the best ways to rehabilitate a joint is that's how we learn to use them in the first place. We weren't striving or pushing or forcing. And the next time you take the legs out, just let it go. Notice your body now as it's resting. Are you laying a little flatter than when you started? What has changed? Well, we're going to work a little bit on the back side, meaning we're going to roll over onto the abdomen. So when we saving the quads for last, but we're going to just visit with the hamstring. So another two jointer. You can cross your hands, rest your head on the back of your hands. You just want your neck and shoulders to be comfortable. So whatever that means. Let your feet wrestle on the floor. 10 toenails touching the floor. And then let's go ahead and bend up the right leg. So the hamstring crosses two joints. The lower part bends the knee. So as you draw the heel towards the tush, feel it. Let's count it down. One of the best ways to release tight hamstrings. From 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and none. Let go of all action. And we'll repeat. And spin out the right leg again. Pull the heels in. And then let there be just a gentle grounding of the front groin so that the spine stays neutral. From 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Let go of all effort. Let's do the left leg. Bend the knee, drawing it in, and feel, sense the hamstring contracting. Sense the back of your left thigh firming up. And we start with 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Let go. And let's do that again. Bending up the knee. Feeling, feeling, feeling muscle contracting. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, relax the ankle, notice if you're tensing, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let it go. Breathing in and breathing in. And spreading the toes. And press the toes into the floor. Press the toes into the floor. So the front of your legs, your quadriceps are going to engage. Your knees are going to engage. And then we'll go ahead and tuck the toes under for the cobra crocodile. And we'll lift up and we'll clasp the elbows. Creep the toes towards the nose. We know this one, crowd pleaser. And press the heels back. And then inhale, lengthen from the pubic bone up. Oh, you're lengthening the lower abdomen. Draw the shoulder blades down. Firm legs, firm legs. firm leg. So the psoas, the leg connector, it's getting a little extra length. Let everything relax, slide down, pause. Rock the hips a little bit from side to side. And we're going to do that again. Tuck the toes under. Sweep the toes to the nose. Press the heels back. Let's lift the upper body. Legs are firm, 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 firm. And the lower abdomen is lengthening. So here, we are engaging the green light reflex and letting the red light elongate. And then releasing down. Let's take one arm overhead so we can roll onto the back again. We have one more floor event. And this is I call it the leg slide. So taking it, doesn't matter which leg you're starting with. I'm just going to slide legs from ankle to knee. So we have a lot of marker points here. So neuropathy, edema, cold feet, stimulating these energetic acupressure points from the inner ankle to the inner knees. Back and forth, back and forth. And then we're going to let that go. So that had a little bit of heat, a little bit of tingling maybe. So we got a little bit more juice going into the legs. So we're ready now for our quadricep release. Let's go ahead and bend up the knees, roll over onto one side. And take your time. You've been down for a while. You come up. And so now you're going to use your chair and your block or blanket. Just where you can get some height under your leg. So we'll start seated. And if you're sitting on a counter or on a bed and your legs are dangling, no need to add height. So I'm using the block, blanket, agreeable animal, so I can get my leg dangling. This is key. But be comfortable. So I do have this one just on one little short YouTube too. Anybody with knee thingies? Oh, you want to share this. So we go ahead, straighten the leg. So this engages the quadricep, another two joiner, and the quadricep and the hamstrings, it's really two sides of the same coin. Straightening the knee completely. Can you straighten the knee? That I know the quadricep has engaged completely, and we're going to count it down from 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Let the leg hang. So we're opening up the knee joint. Remember, there's nothing there. We have the tibia on the bottom and the femur on the top. And when they jam together, we begin to slice away the, I'm having a brain fart right now. That white stuff, it'll come to me. And that is very, very painful. Then we get arthritis because the arthritis trying to create space in the joint. That doesn't feel really good either. Meniscus, there it was, not the meniscus. It's coming on. Cartilage. Thank you. I heard you. Let's do it one more time. So again, notice, are you leading up with the foot? Foot is relaxed. I'm just having a chat with the quadricep. And you can feel strong. So a strong quadricep, that is a strong knee. A tight quadricep, that is an unhappy knee. All right, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, relax the ankle, 3, 2, 1, and done. Let it hang. It's the weight of the leg, allowing these ligaments and tendons to lengthen back out. And let's go ahead, move the block out of the way, and just pause. Pause, and again, let your awareness go from one leg to the other. You may feel absolutely no difference. You may feel a difference. We're going to do the other side. So take the block, move it under. Move my leg out of the way. When you're ready, let's go ahead and straighten the knee. Feel the quadriceps fully engaged. Knee is straight, straight, like a super firm knee. And 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, relax the foot, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. So if you feel like you have some knee thingies coming on, start with this one. I cannot highlight how beneficial and powerful this simple move is to just get knee mobility rehabilitated. We're going to do this part one more time. Extend, and you can feel the quadricep fully engaging. Remember, we got that little dude, vastus medialis, right on the inside, on the top part. That doesn't engage until the last 10 degrees before the leg is straight. So if the knee doesn't straighten all the way, I see that a lot with, again, my more mature practitioners, vastus medialis never jumps into the game, which means now the knee is going to lack stability. Here we are, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and there it hangs. Long. Open knee joint. Room for all of this and no real fluid. Just all squishy. Synovial fluid, think of egg white. It's just very slippery. That's what we want. Joints love that. Remember, we don't make synovial fluid if we don't actually use the joint. So now let's go ahead and take, we'll turn, you can see a little bit better. Take the block and place it between the knees. And this is where it's beneficial to do this seated on a chair. You can do it seated on the floor, but that demands a fair bit of length in the hamstrings. When we're on the chair, tight hamstrings can definitely do this. And so we are not going to press the block down, we're going to consolidate. So hold on to the chair, seat, so we're sitting up tall. sitting up very tall. And then exhale, squeeze the block, squeeze, make an imprint in the block, squeeze as hard as you can, press out through the heels, flex the ankles, is a very firm leg. Squeeze, 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 and then let go, let it go. So you want to hold this for about 3 breaths, 3 breaths. So not down, we're not hyperextending, we are consolidating. Again, if anything hurts, it's uncomfortable, back off, back off, back off. We can do it one more time. Take a breath in, elongate the spine, and as you exhale, begin to squeeze. Don't hold your breath because, again, like I said, you can do this for about 3 breaths. So squeeze the block as hard as it is comfortable for you. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Great, 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 great. Knee strengthener and realigner. And let's take the block out of the way. And then we're ready to come into standing. So this one, as the next one, is a great snack. Now you can use your block, but we're going to do our calf release, our standing. And if we use a block for the calf release, it can help create a little bit more consolidation to midline. When we stand as far out from the wall as it is comfortable, arms are parallel to the ground, and you're feeling just the mildest of stretches in your calves. And you'll lift the heels, put on your super duper stilettos, and we're going to count that one down from 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. We're going to kick the heels out for shy feet, if there's such a thing. And when you're ready, lift the heels, and slowly, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. And then we'll do the Charlie Chaplin feet. If somebody, as this is their feet position, they may have some piriformis syndrome going on. That would be next week. But the feet are hindered too. Let's lift up on the heels, lifting up on the heels. So keeping a straight line from shoulders all the way down. I'm just having a peek around. And lowering 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Come back to neutral, feet pointing straight forward, last one. So straight line, only the smallest stretch in the calves as you initiate, and then lifting up. So a lot of plantar fasciitis is actually because of tight calves. So as you elongate here from 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Then take the block out and stand. Standing. So we'll bookend this where we started. Notice if your imprint has changed. And then from here, I invite you to walk again. We started with a little walking event. Flexibility of ankles, of knees and hips. Did it change how you carry your body as you stand? So I mentioned sensory nerves, so let's just come into a seated posture, whatever it is comfortable. Now, if Varasana, Thunderbolt is available, that demands a lot of the knees off the ankles as well. Choose what is comfortable for you. That thought just went, I was saying something profound, but there it was. Posture. What happens in our feet and legs, of course, happens all throughout. And so I mentioned the 3 points for our gait, mobility of these lower joints, the ankles, the knees, and the hips. I have mentioned the sensory nerves. Can we feel our feet? So somebody with neuropathy or Morton's neuroma, gait becomes really challenging. So when we were paying really close attention to how does my feet feel when I'm sliding them back and forth on the surface, we did that quick slide from ankle to knee. That's again to stimulate sensory activation. And then the last one was posture, because if we are really contracted in a red light reflex, that is going to change how we are using these lower limbs. And so all of these factor in our locomotion, probably the most important skill that we can hold on to, I think. So with that, we have done it again. We have wasted a perfectly good hour. Well, you may have. I've spent it in really good company. And I so appreciate that you are here. Let's close sharing wellness, both inside and out, with Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Heal. Let's take a deep breath in. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Thank you. Namaste.